Imagine walking into the world's most secure bank, past 40 armed guards and 300 motion sensors, and simply asking for the keys. And they give them to you. No shots fired, no alarms triggered, no broken glass. This isn't a movie. It's the story of the man who hacked the human brain to steal the secrets of the 1%. They call it the Obsidian Wing. It doesn't advertise, it doesn't exist on public records, and its clients aren't celebrities or CEOs. They're governments. Buried beneath Manhattan granite and steel, the Obsidian Wing holds sovereign wealth reserves, black budget accounts, and sealed intelligence packages that can destabilize continents, the kind of place where nations hide their insurance policies. Security isn't tight. It's surgical. Biometric heart rate monitors track stress levels in real time. AI-driven facial recognition analyzes micro-expressions before a guard even notices them. And deep inside the corridor lies something called the dead zone. No signals in, no signals out. Electromagnetic silence. You don't hack a place like this unless you understand one thing. The most vulnerable system in any fortress is the human nervous system. His name is Silas Vane, former CIA psychological operations. He didn't specialize in weapons, he specialized in influence. Silas studied how fear reshaped perception, how suggestion overrides logic, how a carefully chosen word can collapse resistance faster than a battering ram. Then he discovered something the agency couldn't control: infrasound, 19 hertz. A frequency too low to hear, but impossible for the body to ignore. At 19 hertz, the human eye subtly vibrates. Peripheral shadows begin to flicker. The brain, desperate to interpret ambiguity, invents threats. People report cold sweats, a presence behind them, a shape in the corner that vanishes when they turn. The primitive brain wakes up, and when survival mode activates, reason goes offline. Silas realized something terrifying. If you can fine-tune fear, you can script behavior. The day of the heist, he didn't wear a mask. He wore a tailored suit. He entered the Obsidian Wing as a high-net-worth client with offshore assets that passed every verification protocol. The documentation was flawless because it was real. He passed 40 armed guards, 300 motion sensors. No one searched the coin in his pocket. Why would they? It looked decorative. It wasn't. The device activated on a timer, 19 hertz. Within minutes, subtle fractures appeared in the corridor. A guard wiped sweat from his brow. Another turned abruptly, convinced someone had just walked behind him. The hallway was empty. Heart rates climbed, cortisol surged, microtremors spread through steady hands. The brain hates uncertainty, so it manufactures danger. Inside the dead zone, something invisible was unfolding. Not a cyber attack, a harvest of fear. Silas approached the head of security, a former Marine, decorated, composed, or at least usually. "Do you smell that?" Silas asked softly. The guard frowned. "Smell what?" Silas lowered his voice. "Ammonia. Ventilation breach. Toxic leak." Under infrasound, the mind prioritizes survival. The logical cortex dims. Instinct takes command. Silas mirrored the guard's breathing, matched his posture, embedded urgency in every syllable. "You're responsible for everyone here," he whispered. "Open the vault. Equalize pressure. Save the building. Save." The most powerful word in any language. The guard hesitated, then reached for the override. No alarms triggered, because the system believed it was an authorized emergency protocol. The vault door swung open. Inside, $500 million in gold reserves, diplomatic immunity in paper form, contingency plans for wars that hadn't started yet. Silas ignored it all. He walked past the gold, past the cash, past the future of nations, until he found a small black box, unmarked, except for one label, Project 77. Inside was a single hard drive. He placed it in his briefcase. No rush, no panic. And then, just as quietly as it began, the frequency stopped. The guards blinked. Sweat cooled. Vision sharpened. "What just happened?" someone muttered. They checked the vault. Gold untouched, cash intact, security logs clean. A false alarm, they concluded. Stress response, shared hallucination. They laughed it off. 24 hours later, global markets collapsed. Indexes plunged, sovereign bonds evaporated. Strategic trades executed milliseconds before the crash reshaped fortunes overnight. Project 77 wasn't money. It was predictive architecture. Algorithms mapping geopolitical triggers, financial domino chains, crisis scenarios years before they unfolded. Silas didn't steal wealth, he stole foresight. And in global finance, information about tomorrow is more valuable than all the gold locked underground. By the time investigators realized something had shifted, the drive was already in motion, copied, distributed, weaponized in silence. No malware, no breach, no forced entry, because nothing was technically stolen. The vault remained full. Only the future was missing. Days later, security footage shows Silas in a crowded U.S. airport, rolling suitcase, neutral expression, just another traveler waiting for boarding. Passport scanned. Gate opens. He disappears into the corridor of strangers. Governments audit their systems. The Obsidian Wing upgrades protocols. Consultants blame stress, coincidence, market fragility. They will never mention 19 Hertz. They will never mention Project 77. And they will never admit the simplest truth. Security systems don't fail. People do. The most dangerous weapon in a heist isn't a gun. It isn't a virus. It's the silence between two heartbeats. And sometimes that silence is all it takes to steal the world. Keep watching Biggest Story, because the truth is always stranger than the lie.